Great. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining another episode of the OpenJS Foundation's Cross-Project Council meeting. Friends, today is the 22nd of November, and we've got a small audience for the holiday. But we got some agenda items that we'll go through. Gosh, I feel like I haven't done this in a long time. What do we have any announcements? That's what I'm looking for. Do we have any announcements?
Yes, we do. We have a really cool event coming up called OpenJS in Finance. We are partnering with the Finos Foundation, which is the FinTech open source foundation under the LF. So they have the Open Source in Finance Forum. They stagger between New York and London. So it is a one-day event in New York, December 8th. We have a lot of great OpenJS speakers. We have Sarah and Abby here, as well as others speaking from the Node project, from the Electron project, and from the board and CPC. So it's going to be a great event. If you're interested, I believe you can still buy tickets. Let us know if you need a discount or a code, and we'll get that in your hands. But it's going to be a great day.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Trying to think if we have anything else going, Kylie. Any other meetings coming up?
That's the big one.
That's the big one. And also, I'm going to be chasing down the program committee for some calendar bingo to try to find a new time to meet. There's a couple of folks who can't make that Thursday regular time, so I thought we'll try to change it up. So look in your inbox for that. Or if you're interested in sort of helping shape our events next year, just let us know and we'll add you.
Great. Yeah, next year should be fun in terms of shaping events, being creative, more than just the flagship stuff that we've done in the past. I'll also add we have a security meeting, OpenJS security collab space meeting right after this meeting. So, 1 o'clock Eastern time, however that translates, but 49 minutes. So feel free to join us there as well. The meeting is in the calendar if you need the Zoom and whatnot. Cool. Anything else? Any board updates or anything like that?
I think we've given a board up. I think we gave a board update a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? Yeah, I think so. So I think there's nothing new. We meet again December 2nd. Is that a Friday?
Okay. Just adding some notes here. Let me share the notes doc. If anyone can help take notes, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget to add yourselves as well, please. Great. So if we're gonna jump into the agenda, the first item is issue 957. This is something that Ben Hutton opened from looking at the repos that we have in the org and suggesting like a repo status badge. Toby's commented about cleaning some things up. I don't know if we have any thoughts about this or if we should just add it to a list of maybe some working session items where we can go back through and clean things up. Or at least make clear what they are.
I like manual cleanup.
Yeah. Okay.
We did that one spring cleaning working session. I thought that was pretty effective. I think that would be worth doing again.
Yeah, I agree.
You only have 18 repositories. It hopefully shouldn't be too hard to determine which ones need to be archived and things like that.
Yeah, I think most of them are legit. We just maybe need to add, a comment or at least a good description about what they are and why they're there. But that sounds good. We'll do it in a working session sometime soon. Not this upcoming one because we have plans, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. Next up is issue 953, funds for project-driven initiatives. We talked about this a little bit before we got the live stream going. Do we have any comments or updates on this one now, or do we want to wait until we get more clarity and direction on this particular issue?
Sarah, do you want to give an update? I had given a quick update in our last meeting that the board was open, and I know we owe more details on the comment.
Yeah. So we discussed this at our last board meeting. I think what we can share, and we'll put details in the comment, is in the past, the board has helped facilitate sponsorship from companies where member projects have run into these issues of needing help. So I think that's where we'd like the projects to start, right? Not from getting sponsorship from within the organization, but reaching out to the board and working directly with the board to get sponsorship from companies who want to help and have bigger pockets. So we'll be adding on to the comment. Robin put together a draft, but basically it's not, I don't think, and Robin, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think it's a hard no from the org, but we want to see what the needs are. And it is better for the org if we can put projects in touch with companies that want to sponsor. So that's where we're going to start.
That makes sense. We'll look forward to the comments on the issue, but I would imagine we will outline what projects, what the process should look like for projects so that it's clear in the future.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that's a big thing that we need to establish.
Yeah. Okay, great. All right, so we'll talk more about that soon, I imagine. Cool. Any other comments or thoughts about this one? Anybody want to add a note on that one in the notes? That would be great. And then I will just kind of keep moving on. Otherwise, you have to wait for me while I type. That's not fun.
I do it, but I'm away from my keyboard. So
yeah, we'll lean on someone else. I'm looking at the doc and I don't see anything. That
was 543, right?
That was 953, funds for project-driven initiatives.
Yeah, I just got the numbers in the wrong order and also the wrong numbers. But okay, I caught half of it, so I'd rather not write the note myself.
I think it's basically that Robin has a comment that she's going to draft, that she's going to submit soon, and we'll talk more about it. I think that's probably good enough, right? Because once the comments in there, then there'll be more specifics. Great. So moving on to issue 910, add patching script for COC modifications. I also referenced already in the comments there to see pull request 972 that Yaggi's opened up recently. So there is essentially a patching script that is PR'd here. I'm going to work with them, Yaggi's, to figure out how we move this forward, because I think it's not as simple as just merging this. I think when, as they say in the comment here, I think before we merge it, we need to get aligned on the appropriate patch file and just kind of get things sorted. But I think if I understand correctly, and this applies to like maybe the next 2 or 3 issues that we have on the agenda, My understanding is that we will land version 2.1 of the contributor covenant code of conduct. And this script will run a patch, will apply a patch to that. And whenever it's updated, it will do it as well through, I think, GitHub Actions. And I think that we just need to figure out what changes we want to make to that. So my assumption is we will land version 2.1, and this patching script will be something, some of the boilerplate at the top with, you know, our reporting information and such. And then we can go through that last PR that I think Ben opened up and there was a lot of comments on, and just generally get figured out what our modifications are to the document. Toby?
Yeah, that's exactly correct. And there's a tiny thing that we're going to do on top is include in that patch, sure, the thing that's at the top, though we might maybe want to talk about the thing that's at the top like in a separate conversation, because that's differently complicated because it's additional content, not like modified content.
Yeah.
But like the actual thing that we're going to change is there are two versions of version 2 of the COC to make things really easy, right? Which are slightly different in their wording. And we rely on the first version of COC 2.0, which has this very small distinction about project versus like organization that we want to keep until we make a larger thoughtful discussion about this.
So you're saying we shouldn't be landing 2.1, we should be staying on 2.0?
No, I'm saying landing 2.1 is fine, but we have to put that small patch into the patch file so that we end up with 2.1 plus the first version of 2.0, not 2.1 and the second version of 2.0.
You just lost me.
I know this is fucked up. Sorry for my language, but that's the appropriate language for this particular problem. So that's that.
Okay.
I can guarantee that doing this will make everyone equally unhappy.
Yay.
And that's the best we can do at this point. If not, we're going to get people really mad.
Okay, so I was planning to get together with Yogis to figure out how to merge this and what that would look like. I think that you should be a part of that conversation too, so that we.
Okay.
Yeah, please and thank you. All right, good. So we'll sort that out and move that forward. And I'm hoping that we move it forward in a way that makes it easy for folks to, you know, comment and adjust any sort of approach.
I think so. I mean, the reason I'm willing to like help out with this is I don't have any horse in that race. Like I don't care. And I think I have a really good understanding of who cares about what and all of the different pieces at this point.
I know you care, Toby. I know you care.
No, I do, but I don't care about the specifics of like those things that we're talking about here.
Sounds good. All right, cool. We'll work through that and sort through that confusing stuff. We'll figure it out. Great. So that kind of covers issue 910 as well as the following one in the agenda, which is 851, pull request 851. Those two are related. The next one on here is issue 786, which is clarify requirements around code of conduct violations.
So that's mine too, and they haven't done the work that I thought we were going to do on last working session on that thing. So I will get to it.
Okay. If you want help or something, if you want to powwow, let me know. I'll work with you on it. So I'll keep moving on. This next one is issue 664, code of conduct missing for a number of projects in the projects table in the README. And, you know, I see Toby made a comment 2 weeks ago. Oh, you got your hand up, Toby, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was going to say that ties into the heading of the code of conduct part. Essentially, I think the idea here was instead of like keeping different versions of the truth in different places, it might well be worth keeping one version of the truth in one place. And it feels like the head of the top of the code of conduct is like a logical place to have this. And so we should probably leave it there. And then remove the rest of like the references from like the README. I mean, that would be sort of like my suggestion here.
Yeah, I agree. And I think we should just, as we pull out that column in that table in the README, we should just make sure that, you know, the code of conduct is very upfront in the README, and maybe we even have a comment if you're looking for project code of conduct reporting information, see our code of conduct or something that makes it very clear.
You're not even. Oh, sorry. I just realized I wasn't muted. I was talking to my cat. Keep going.
Do go on, Sarah. Great. If someone can drop a comment in that issue, just as that we have that sort of understanding, that would be great. And then as we move forward on that other work, we can be sure to clean this one up as well.
I'll do that.
Thank you, Toby. Awesome. So moving on towards the end of the list here, license check support and tooling. I assume, as Robin said yesterday, this is on hold, looking at early 2023. So that's the update there. And
Good
then
news, we're not the only sub foundation under the LF who's asking for that. So should come together.
okay, great. And they're looking at it in a holistic kind of way.
Yeah.
That's great. Good. Next up, and really the final agenda item is issue 952, develop annual review process for projects. This was created in July of 2020. I believe it was revived with the agenda labeled 10 days ago. And as Emily, I'll read Emily's comments since he's not here. Unblocking and re-raising for the CPC agenda as the growth plan was added in another issue. Note that we also have open issues 676 and 677, which have been split off from this one, but we should review the topic in general. Does anybody have anything they want to say here? I mean, I think this is a good thing that we should do, and you know, now that we're staffed up with Luke as well, that maybe we can start to figure out what this would look like. Even just, you know, oh, sorry, Toby, you have your hand up.
I mean, it would be good to do a work session on that, maybe, you know, to actually like figure out like what needs to happen. And also, I mean, sort of vaguely tied to this is, I think there's still a whole bunch of projects like in the onboarding thing that are not really finished, but kind of. And I mean, we should just like decide what we do with this before we start reviewing stuff. Like, it feels like finishing the onboarding would be a good step, or deciding that we don't do the onboarding. I mean, that's also fine. Like, actually, like, you know, let's say that, I mean, I would be okay saying, well, you know, every project that was here from the past and that we haven't onboarded now, well, like, that's fine. Like, let's just drop asking for this stuff. I mean, but like, you know, let's do something, make a decision and then do it, right?
Are you talking the JS Foundation projects or just the other?
I mean, I
the
think
JS Foundation, yeah.
I mean, I don't like,
Because
I am not expressing a judgment about this. Like, I am just saying, we should either do it for those projects or not do it, or, you know, but make a decision, and not leave this thing sort of like open. And then maybe actually, as part of a review, we could sort of make sure that all of these things are in there. I don't know. Let's just clean this stuff up and make a decision.
Well, the
I-
JS Foundation projects, when the foundations merge, we now have the trademarks and everything, so they've landed. There's some administrative things that are probably minor in those, because I have been sort of keeping a spreadsheet, but there have been people changes and things that I try to keep up with that needs to be wrangled a little bit. Our other projects, we have a couple of slow ones. Luke can help with those. Some of the other bigger ones we're working on as well. Jest, I think, is a bigger one, just requires more paperwork. The other ones just require more time from these smaller projects. So
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I had stuff on my plate to finish onboarding Node, and I don't know if I don't recall if I ever finished that. So
yeah,
I think it would be good to do kind of a review of where things stand, just to keep things clean and feel
agreed.
like
We've also done things that should help, like when Brian created the footer with the privacy notice and all of those things. Those are easy things to drop in that will help clean up a lot of that onboarding and such.
No, totally. That was great.
Yeah.
Your comment about keeping track of this in like a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I totally get it, but it feels kind of weird when we have sort of like a whole GitHub repository to like keep track of like onboarding on one end, and then like staff also has another one internally. I mean, I understand that not everything can be public, obviously, right? But like, I also want to make sure that we don't like do a whole bunch of extra work,
Yeah.
by duplicating stuff everywhere for no good reason, right? That's the other thing.
And some of it's my personal reference. I know people hate personal spreadsheets, but oh gosh, I wish the code of conduct would be more easily discoverable instead of 3 clicks away, stuff like that, right? Who's crowdfunding where, things like that. It's just kind of fine.
Yeah, that makes sense. I have a thought that I'll propose. We're kind of getting into the end of the year holiday season, and a lot of times meetings get, usurped by different holiday schedules and whatnot. What if we just plan that every meeting from here through the rest of the year is a working session, and we just kind of work on things? Because I feel like we've got these agenda items, we can go through them and give updates, but I think it would be more valuable if we just spend our time spending the rest of the year working on things, cleaning things up. We can meet, we can review some agenda items if we want, but if we just had really high value things that we could work through, that would be good. I just looked at the calendar and there's not really that many of them. Half of them are already working sessions, so we'd only be losing like maybe 2, but I think we'd probably make some really good progress. Might be a good
I love
way
that idea.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. Great. I think that would be productive. I'm not sure how to implement that in terms of issues and all that stuff, but we'll just maybe go week by week and just say, hey, it's the working session again. I don't know. All right, cool. Well, let's do that, and maybe we can go through some of the issues that we have. And I think we have a working session label now. We can just add some things there, and maybe at the end of each meeting, we can just figure out what we're doing next week and come prepared to tackle that. Cool. That's the last issue on the agenda. And we had already decided to work on, we have a working session issue, which is 958. This is simplify CPC governance, which I know we joked about that word simplify in previous meetings. I think we should review what we have here, and Toby helpfully created 5 issues. Created this list of issues that we can start to work through. I know in the last working session, we kind of talked about some of these things. I think it would be good if we started to frame the working session for next week, so that we have a structure as to how we're going to approach some of these things, because there's kind of a lot in that list. I think it made sense when we sort of broke it into different specific things that we wanted to, question and address. So maybe we can do that asynchronously before next meeting. Maybe Robin, Toby, the 3 of us can work on that, since we were in the meeting. I can't remember who else was there. But yeah, maybe we can throw a doc together and just start to flesh out what an agenda would look like for next week. Cool. That's it that we have for this week. I don't know if we want to call it early or start to talk about something else or what we want to do.
I mean, should we take the time to organize the next working session around like the specifically those reviews and like figuring out what to do with like those onboarding well JS Foundation projects? I don't know. I'm just
You're talking about getting ready for not the next working session, but the one after that, and figure out what we think we should work on then.
yeah, I mean, or we could just like call it the day and have 1/2 an hour. I mean, I could use that.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if we should go through the issues and add, I mean, not as a group here now, but especially if we give some time back, I can start to go through some issues as well and start to add the working session label, because there may be some other things that are like, oh yeah, we should work on this before we work on that or something. I don't know.
That sounds like a good idea.
Cool. See you next week then.
Yeah. So we'll call it early. I'm going to jump into the issues. If anybody else wants to as well, we can start to figure out what working sessions would look like moving forward. Cool. Thanks everyone for your time. If you have time in 25 minutes and want to join us for the security meeting, that would be great. Otherwise, I will see you all soon. Thank you.
Yeah, have a great
Thanks,
holiday.
everyone.
Yeah. Happy
Bye.
holidays.
Bye, folks.
Bye.
All right.
You want to hang here, Joe?